Well, he was dubbed once the funniest man on television, was the accolade he got. Let's see how good Jim Davidson is.
Thank you very much. I have to say, I didn't know there was a live audience. Actually, there's more people here watching Nigel than there is on television watching Piers Morgan. I just thought I'd point that out. And I have to tell you that I don't watch the news a great deal because it doesn't really bother me. I mean, the price of petrol, that doesn't bother me. I'm always banned from driving. It doesn't bother me one bit. And I think the cruncher in the leadership challenge will be Boris Johnson looking at how much Theresa May earned doing that speech. And I think he'll be a... Thank you very much. It's lovely to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Nigel.
To Talking Pints.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. Now, Jim.
Yeah. Go easy.
What a life you've had. I mean, talk about the ups and downs. Talk about the ups and downs. But now that you're older and wiser, I just wonder what marriage advice you'd give to younger people.
In 1971, I was on the way to Woolwich Town Hall with my dad, Jock, in a cab to get married. And I said, Dad, I was 17. I said, what advice would you give me? He said, tell the cab to keep going as quick as it... I would say enjoy it. It's not for everybody. I mean, I've had a go. I've been married 50 years now, nearly, if you add them all up. No, and people said, why did you... It must have cost you a fortune getting divorced. Yeah. Great money spent, though, I think. If you want a serious answer,
yeah.
Relationships are difficult to do. And relationships in show business, I was a 23-year-old bloke, money dropping out the air, and ladies coming from everywhere. It was just too much to bear, Nigel.
No, I get it. Jim... Talent shows. You know, talent shows are big news on telly.
Yeah.
Still these days. But for you, it was New Faces, wasn't it, that really did it?
New Faces, 1976. March the 9th, 1976. It was a Tuesday. 7:30, I won it, and I phoned my mother, and I said, Mum, I've won New Faces, and you'll never have to work again. And she never did. There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
She was lazy, my mother. God rest her soul.
And that was the big break. Suddenly, you'd done it,
yeah.
And you're in demand.
Yeah.
And comedy was everywhere, wasn't it? Think about the telly. You know, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, Saturday nights,
yeah.
Comedians, all these shows. You got dubbed the funniest man on telly, which was a hell of an accolade.
Yeah.
And almost, it seems, looking back at it, I mean, of course, there were limits even then.
Yeah, there were.
To comedy.
Yeah.
But you were pretty free, weren't you?
Yeah, especially when they gave me my own show at 9:30 at night. It was past the watershed. Then suddenly something changed. I think Ben Elton proved you could be a stand-up comedian without being funny. And all these sort of people turned up, and it got very, very woke. And Benny Hill and I got the sack from Thames Television basically overnight. And I thought, well, that's the end of my career. And suddenly a cassette landed on my desk, and it was a show about snooker. Yeah. And they said, would you like to do it?
That was your big break?
That was my big break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, I'll do it and get my mate on it, John Virgo. So the two of us did big break for 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years.
Yeah.
You don't see it anymore.
And Generation Game. I mean, these were really... I mean, this is when sort of Saturday
I stood in for Bruce Forsyth when he was sick. And so I basically got the job when they negotiated with him. And I'm still waiting for the card from Bruce to say good luck, but
yeah, it may not happen now.
No, me and him never got on. And, of course, sadly, he died. I don't know what he died of. I think it was he had a nasty seizure, I believe. Nasty seizure? No.
No, please.
He was a good guy, Bruce, and he was a tough act to follow. That's why I had to change it around a lot.
Brilliant.
He was brilliant.
And loved.
Oh, very much loved.
Right into his 80s and absolutely loved by people. And then, Jim, the BBC canned you as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah. They sort of found out that how dare this Tory scum person, the disgrace to the working class people come here. You know, so they gave me £1 million to go away.
Did they really?
Yeah. I had 2 more wives out of that.
Some of your material has had to change. But that would happen anyway. There are social trends that change, and things that were not acceptable one day are the next, and vice versa.
We're talking about Chalky here.
Yeah,
Let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Well, this Chalky character, was never called Chalky White, and he was based on a school I went to in Charlton. A lot of the black lads still had West Indian accents, which I thought was a fabulous accent. And I created that character to be loved, and it was loved until now. Somebody looking back has basically pulled that statue down. And of course, I don't do it now because I'd love to take these people on and say, don't be so ridiculous. This was my attempt at joining people together seriously, but no one speaks with a West Indian accent anymore, so that was the end of that character. It's like doing an impression of a handsome cab. No one would know what you're talking about, you know?
No. But Jim, you have stood up against cancel culture. You've stood up very strongly in favour of free speech. You've got, I think, the sort of Islington set. Whether they hate you more than they hate me, it's quite a tight call, isn't it?
They actually think we were separated at birth. When he said he was a Remainer and everyone booed, I thought, well, how awful. I thought we said he was a Romanian. I did.
No, don't worry, they're not like that.
No, we're not.
There's not a problem.
Oh, God bless Romanian.
Not a problem. Yew-Tree.
Yeah.
Jim, Yew-Tree. I mean, we know there were some seriously bad people around. Savile, people like Harris, some seriously bad people, but a lot of innocent people getting caught up in Operation Yew-Tree and other things. I mean, for you, it was devastating, wasn't it?
Well, if you think and now, still to this day, the accusation is enough. The accusation does the damage. Not the fact that you go to court or the police say, sorry, you've proved that there's no case to answer. They don't say that. They say there's no further action. But in my case, I presented all the evidence that they wanted, and they said, no, OK, we're basically sorry. And so Cliff Richard and a few people got in touch and said, look, Paul Gambaccini, we want to go and sue the police. Well, I don't want to sue the police. I thought the police did a fantastic job. And so Henry, my lawyer, said, well, if you want to make some money with, compensation, write a book. So I just got all my notes that I made during it, and I wrote a book. And to be honest with you, people say if it doesn't kill you, it's not bad. And I had the support of the people, because the people knew that it was bull stuff.
Yeah.
The people knew that it was wrong, and in my case, it wasn't underage sex anyway. The policeman actually said to me, when he arrested me at Heathrow, like I was a terrorist, he said, don't worry, Jim, it's not as if it's underage sex. I went, oh, that's okay.
Great, yeah, lovely. Oh, that's off you go.
Yeah, oh, thanks, yeah, I'll own up to it all. Yeah. Did you have girls in your dressing room? Yeah. I had one banging on my dressing room door at 2 o'clock in the morning. I had to let her out in the end. Calling. I can't resist it, can I?
No.
I see that road and it says, don't go down there.
You are like a moth to a mercury vapour lamp, aren't you? You see danger, you have to go for it. Absolutely.
Don't drink like that bloke you had on last night, that MP. My God, he did that pint in 3 mouthfuls.
And yeah, he did. And he had a large Jameson's chaser with it.
Did he?
Oh, he was organised. Yeah, no, he'd come fully equipped. He'd come fully equipped, He was funny, though, wasn't he?
He was very funny.
Good. Ex-Royal Navy, and you could tell it in the sense of humour.
That great sense of humour. The gallows sense of humour that keeps them together.
Brilliant. Jim, you're YouTubing these days. YouTube channel, how's it going?
Well, we do little adverts on YouTube, but I have a streaming channel called Ustream, which I own the station, so I can put on stuff. And like GBNews, I think we concentrate on what people want to see and let people select what they want to see. There's not a great opinionated channel. It's got me.
Really?
It's got. Well, I'm opinionated. Then me comedy.
I say with you, it must be a fair few opinions.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all tongue in the cheek with me. I'm there to make them laugh. But we've got Jethro, we've got Freddie Starr, we've got all the people that people want to see. I mean, in about 6 weeks' time, we'll be showing the whole of Cinderella 1, Cinderella 2. You're never going to see those things on normal television, so You have to buy one yourself and run it. I love it. I'm a television executive now, don't you? Check it out, Ustream.
And when you look 40 years on from the Falklands, we're here in Portsmouth. I know you've been to the Falklands many times. You've done so much for veterans in this country. Are we beginning to get it right with our veterans, Jim, do you think?
That's a very interesting question. I think the government can do more. Charities seem to moan a lot, to be honest, because they want to get their buckets filled. You're not going to go out and say, the veterans are all fine now, don't give us any money. I think that the Falklands veterans now are suffering. They are suffering this time, the 40 years on. They'll be looking back at mates. I've just done at Ustream, we did a show called Pull Up a Sandbag, where Denzel Connick, who lost a leg, was speaking to all veterans, and they're all suffering. They're all made out, all our crew, we're all in tears. Have we done enough? There is more to do.
There's more to do. But I think there's more consciousness of veterans' problems than ever there was before. You've done terrific work in it. Jim, you know, you and I have been friends for some years. I'm delighted to have you on Talking Pints. A lot of people in GBNews said I was taking a risk. But hey, I think we're okay. I can't see Ofcom closing us down. I thank you very much indeed.
God bless you.